After I was raped and killed, my mother started selling meat buns. The buns she made had a large filling and thin skin, incredibly delicious. The police suspected that the missing thugs were inside them. When my mother heard this, she laughed and said, "How could that be? In our family, we never sell overnight meat." Chapter 1. Someone found half a finger in a bun from our bun shop. The customers in the shop immediately panicked, and the police quickly arrived, sealing off the scene. They found half of an uncooked thigh meat on my mother's cutting board. "The meat is fresh, you can check it, I never use overnight meat, and I don't use machines to grind. It's not chewy, no texture." When the police fished out a row of bones with meat still attached from the dark and fragrant braising pot, she was not afraid. Instead, she gently revealed the secret recipe that had never been passed on. "Look, the meat needs to be braised to be fragrant, there's a burst of juice when you take a bite, my braising ingredients." The police couldn't take it and sternly interrupted her. "Jo Ruyun, tell us, why did you kill someone? Where is your daughter, Goulet? She hasn't been to school for over 10 days, she's about to take the college entrance exam, what have you done to her?" "College entrance exam? Girls don't need to study." My mother sneered. "She doesn't need all that." A sense of helplessness filled my heart. My mother always looked down on me because of my gender. My efforts never received her acknowledgement. Strange, the person is dead, why am I still so miserable? When the police, confused, followed my mother's gaze and opened the refrigerator, everyone immediately covered their noses, showing expressions of extreme fear. Because inside the refrigerator, I was hidden. Dismembered, me. Chapter 2. I was murdered on my way home. The thugs covered my mouth and nose with a cloth soaked in drugs, dragged me into an abandoned factory, and the immense pain quickly woke me up. My screams and struggles only led to more vicious insults from the men. After losing consciousness, they continued to assault me relentlessly. At one point, someone suddenly gasped, "Bro, this girl seems to have no breath." No way, she was just enjoying it a moment ago, pretending, right? She was just moaning. A check of my breathing showed I was really not breathing, and the others started to panic. "Boss, we do business for money, but not murder. We just got out of jail, we can't go back in." The leader grabbed my neck, repeatedly slapped me, and with too much force, my neck cracked and twisted to the side. Completely broken. My soul trembled and shrank into a ball, and I even felt glad to be dead, or else it would have been much more suffering. The man pulled up his pants, finished a whole cigarette, and said, "Forget it, it's good she's dead, once she's dead, the price we want will be different, surname Goose Kid has money anyway." When I floated back to the bun shop in a daze, my mother was playing mahjong with the neighbor. "Sister Jo, your Lele has good grades, she must be going to the university in City B, right?" My mother sneered contemptuously. "Am I that stupid? If she goes out of town, can she come back? I've raised her for so many years, how could I let her run away?" "You can't say that, your daughter has good grades, a better future awaits her outside." "What's the use of that? In the end, she'll still end up earning a few thousand as a clerk." My mother's tone turned even more indifferent. "Girls just bury their noses in books, if I had a son, he would definitely be 100 times, 1,000 times better than her." Yes, my mother once carried a male fetus. At 5 months, she caught a cold and pneumonia from me, and the child couldn't be saved. Coincidentally, my father's mistress gave birth to a boy, and after the divorce, my mother hated me to death. "If it weren't for you, this family wouldn't have fallen apart. Tell me, did you intentionally get sick because you didn't want a little brother?" Late at night, as she packed up the mahjong game, she muttered impatiently, "Night self-study has ended, where did she go fooling around? She didn't know that her own daughter was being dismembered. I watched her impatiently start dialing my phone, 1 time, 2 times, countless times the calls were all. Sorry, the subscriber you have dialed is not answering at the moment, please try again later. She began to frantically pace around the house, constantly calling my homeroom teacher and classmates. If this stinky girl dares to mess around outside, watch how I'll break her legs. Chapter 3. My mother confessed to the murders without hesitation. How many? I can't remember, you guys check for yourselves, isn't there DNA testing? There was, but just that pot of braising sauce made the forensic pathologist bald. In that pot of aged braising liquid, countless seasonings settled, star anise, dried tangerine peel, rock sugar, fennel, cardamom. Even the seasoned meat had a distinction between lean and fatty cuts. I watched as my mother's hands were handcuffed, as she was escorted into the police car. A still elegant woman rushed forward, raining punches and kicks on my mother, tearing her heart out. Where's my son, Joe Ryun? Give my son back to me. This was my father's second wife, Zhang Shuang. Onlookers whispered. I heard her ex-husband's son has also been missing for several days. Could it be her doing? This woman is really vicious, no wonder her husband left her. Joe Ryun, if you dare touch a hair on my son, I won't let you off. My father went crazy, my mother smiled with a swollen, bruised face. See, now you're also facing this. After my disappearance, my mother had no choice but to ask my father to find me, to which he replied. Your daughter, where she goes, I have no idea. Don't bother me. Facing the frantic pair, my mother blinked. Where is Gu Zhen? I really don't know, she sells so many baskets in a day. My mother's business was booming, customers came in a steady stream every day, the small shop was always full inside and out. She lifted the corners of her mouth lightly. If you want to ask, you should ask the customers here. Suddenly, the whole place fell silent, even the police officers restraining the woman forgot to move. Zhang Shuang and my father lost color from their faces, helplessly sitting on the ground. I really enjoy seeing them collapse. Aunt Jing begged my mother like a dog. I remember, when I begged her not to break up my family, the woman kicked me over. You fool, get lost with your mom. Chapter 4. Zhang Shuang used to be my mom's best friend. It's a cliché story. My mom spent her youth building a business with my dad from scratch, and after they got rich, they were betrayed by them. She stubbornly believed that Zhang Shuang could rise up because she had a son. So she blamed the divorce on me. I don't know how my mom finally found the warehouse. After seeing my dismembered body, she froze in place, from breathing, expression, to heartbeat, everything stopped. She picked up my scattered body, and after who knows how long, gently closed my unseeing eyes. From start to finish, her face was empty, showing no sadness, not even a hint of choking up. I chuckled self-deprecatingly. Every time my mom mentioned her son, it wasn't like this. Perhaps, without a drag on her, her future would be easier, she could start a new family. Have the children she desired. It must be very easy, right? My mom didn't call the police, instead, she brought my body back to the shop, carefully wrapped it up. When morning came, she called my homeroom teacher to take a leave. My Lele is sick, give her a few days off. Yes, it won't affect her studies. It wasn't me who was sick, it was my mom. She prepared breakfast and lunch as usual, loudly knocking on the door. Girl, the food is in the fridge, remember to heat it up before eating. Mom's going out to run some errands, money's on the table. When you're sick, you need to eat more, you're as thin as a stick. She was out for a whole 6 days, on the night of my 7th day, in front of my spirit tablet. My mom used a thug's life to mourn me. Chapter 5. Before my mom took action, she bought a set of second-hand delivery clothes. After running her shop for so many years, she knew all kinds of people, and quickly got information from the thugs through local connections. She rode her small electric bike back and forth in the neighborhood, years of hard work causing a hump on her back. This appearance wouldn't attract attention. My mom successfully located the address. Carrying the delivery bag, she knocked on the door. The door opened, a yellow-haired thug cautiously took it. "What are you looking at? Why aren't you leaving?" My heart skipped a beat. It was this person, the one who attacked me from the bushes. My mom looked at the fierce, menacing yellow-haired man, and humbly smiled. "Young man, if it's convenient, could you give me a 5-star review? Get lost, if you don't leave, I'll beat you." The door closed, my mom's expression instantly changed. The timid smile was replaced by cold hatred. She didn't go downstairs but waited in a corner of the rooftop, waiting patiently until evening. When she broke in, the yellow-haired thug was already foaming at the mouth, unconscious on the floor. Yes, a large amount of drugs had been put in his lunchbox. I dared not breathe the whole time, watching my mother drag blonde punk into the prepared wheelie bin. There was a surveillance camera at the ground floor exit, and my mother calmly took out the prepared wire. She hooked the camera and yanked hard. After changing direction, she lowered her helmet and disappeared into the night. Chapter 6. Blonde punk woke up in pain. He was horrified to find himself tied up all over. No matter how hard he struggled, he could only make struggling sounds. My mother ignored him, engrossed in sharpening her boning knife. "It's you who bullied my daughter." Blonde punk, with a pleading tone, completely different from his previous arrogance, claimed it wasn't his fault. "I was just a helper, someone paid us to do it. The innocence of a girl is the most important." My mother's face, with deep-set numb eyes, was full of wrinkles and furrows. "You bullied Lay, how can she marry in the future, how can she live?" She picked up the boning knife and carefully examined blonde punk's body, finally finding the best spot to start. My grandfather was a butcher, my mother learned from him, skilled in her movements. Just as she told the police, she never used a meat grinder. She preferred hand chopping. Then, I saw her raise the knife high and ruthlessly strike. Blonde punk immediately passed out, blood flowing, the kitchen filled with a strong smell of blood. My mother woke him up by splashing ice water on him. Drying her hands, she took out a file folder. I leaned in and found my certificates of achievement from when I was little. When I happily brought home these certificates as a child, my mother would sternly scold me. "Just small contests at school, nothing to be proud of. Do not be arrogant, being good at memorizing now doesn't mean you'll do well in high school. Boys will easily surpass you after puberty." I always wanted to earn my mother's approval, even though it was difficult. But I thought, as long as I worked hard, a little harder, I could do it someday. Trembling, my mother's fingers touched my name on the certificates. My daughter, a model student since kindergarten, class monitor, always good every year. So my mother did remember my honors. Her voice was gentle. Lay is helpful, good at studies, teachers and classmates like her. Others envy me, I feel lucky too. I often think, I must have done good deeds in my past life. This girl doesn't look like me, delicate and pretty, and her character is not like her father's frivolousness. We, the bad bamboo, have grown good shoots. My mother suddenly grabbed the thug's neck, her eyes red. "Why are you so cruel to her? She has no enmity with you, why?" Chapter 7. Mother, don't kill. I tried to stop her, but couldn't. The ethereal soul could only pass through her body time and time again. Mother wrapped the rope around blonde punk's neck, starting to tighten it. Blonde punk's face turned purple, eyes bulging, tongue purple. "And, I was wrong, give me a chance to change. My mother is waiting for me in our hometown, she's sick. I just wanted to earn some money to treat her illness." "You also have a mother?" The rope loosened for a moment. Blonde Punk thought pleading for mercy might work, looking pitiful and tearful. I do, my mother is around your age, Aunt, spare me, give me a chance. A chance? Have you given my daughter, Lei, a chance? A strange smile crossed my mother's fierce face as she said kindly. That's great, your mother will soon be just like me. Suffering the same pain. Chapter 8. Splatters of blood sprayed onto my photos. In the picture, I earnestly rolled dough with flour on my nose, looking funny. My mother was frugal, unwilling to buy a good phone, even the secretly taken photos were blurry. She carefully wiped the blood off my face, along with her tears. After cleaning up the scene, she continued making dough and chopping meat for the morning market as if nothing had happened. In the meantime, the real estate agent came by. Sister Joe, you wanted me to find a stall in City B for you before, there's some news. It turned out my mother planned to sell the old shop and move with me to City B. Last time you mentioned Lei's desired university, I asked my colleague, here's the information, but the rent deposit is high, Sister Joe, are you really going? Not going isn't an option. My mother kneaded the dough expressionlessly, skillfully wrapping the filling. She's a girl, unfamiliar with life, she can't be left alone. Ah, your daughter is grown up, you should enjoy life. I can't, what if we need to buy a house in City B later, drifting around won't do, we need a down payment, or else she won't be respected when looking for a partner, like I was back then. While I am still capable, I need to save more. Of course, with your unique skills, Sister Joe, you'll be successful anywhere. It turned out when my mother said, how can I let her go, she meant she would follow me. She was rough and stubborn, not well educated, growing up in the grassroots, she didn't understand what hurtful words were. She believed the more money in the bankbook, the more love there would be. My nose tingled, I leaned against my mother's shoulder. We had never been so close in life, too shy to express love, but now everything was too late. Yet, this one lean seemed to freeze my entire soul. To save money and time, we rented the second floor of a storefront. At this moment, a crack quietly opened in the wardrobe behind my mother. There was a man hidden inside. My mind went blank, all the terrifying memories flooding back before death. This man was the one who broke my neck. Chapter 9. The man, known on the streets as Slim Coon. With a criminal background, blood on his hands, ruthless and fearless, a desperate fugitive. His gaze was like a poisonous snake's, locked tightly on my mother. Seeing the blade in his hand poised to strike, I panicked. Mother, run, hurry. In the dim light, my mother, unaware, approached the wardrobe, and at that moment, Slim Coon lunged out with a knife. My mother stumbled backward, trying to use both hands and feet to close the bedroom door, but Slim Coon wouldn't give her the chance. Just as she was halfway through closing it, his strong body slammed against it. My mother's strength was no match for his, and the door was pushed back. She fell heavily backward, Slim Coon pressing her down, the blade against her neck. I knew it was you messing around, speak. Where are my brothers? If you don't talk, I'll kill you. His underlings had all disappeared, he couldn't sit still. But he didn't believe for a moment that a bun-selling middle-aged woman had any capabilities, let alone the ability to kill. He was a beast, incapable of understanding a parent's determination. My mother's gaze seemed as if she wanted to dissect him inch by inch. Blonde Punk said, it was you, they were the helpers you brought. Yes. Slim Coon reminisced smugly, recalling with infinite relish. I was your daughter's first man, oh, and also the last. My mother trembled all over, I rarely saw her so helpless. From childhood to adulthood, no matter what hardships she faced, she charged through like a lioness. Yet Slim Coon continued to shame her tirelessly. So tender, the girl's skin is so fair and smooth, just can't handle playing, but a few brothers couldn't resist. When she's in pain, she'll call for her mother. Tell me, should I call you mother-in-law? Ha ha ha. Laughing heartily, Slim Coon suddenly realized his voice was hoarse. But this was just the beginning. In an instant, Slim Coon's body convulsed violently, collapsing as if in a fit, his expression horrified, blood streaming from his eyes, nose, and even his ears. It was only then that I noticed my mother holding a syringe, half injected. Inside was a deadly poison, cyanide. Chapter 10. My mother knew early on that Slim Coon would come for revenge. Aware of the power difference, she had surveillance installed inside and outside the shop, prepared with drugs in advance. Slim Coon wasn't fat, but tall with muscles all over his body. It took a lot of effort for my mother to drag him to the kitchen on the first floor. Skillfully, she cut open an artery with a knife, and with a pull, fresh blood gushed out, splashing high. Slim Coon's body convulsed violently, and with each convulsion, the blood sprayed even higher. In less than a minute, he lay sprawled on the ground, dead. The first blonde punk had said, "It was young Master Gu Zhen who sent me, said to teach a woman a lesson." They even recorded a video, said they would make the woman never lift her head again for the rest of her life. The evidence is on our boss's phone. Gu Zhen, my half-brother. Grown up in love and money, the beloved little brother. In Slim Coon's phone, my mother found a video. At that moment, my soul turned very cold. I begged my mother not to watch it. "Don't open it, don't click it." My mother's chest heaved in pain, but she still chose to click the play button. Chapter 11. The unbearable scene was enough to destroy any mother. Gu Zhen held up the camera, laughing and teasing into the lens, not sparing any of my despair. "Gu Lei, aren't you quite proud at school? Keep being proud, then." Pain surged from all directions, I felt blood gushing from all over my body, choking into my throat. I couldn't even scream out in agony. But even in death, my eyes remained defiant. I refused to bow down to this baseless malice. I have never done anything wrong in my life, never harmed anyone. Why treat me like this? Gu Zhen used his foot to press down on my face, saying he always detested my eyes since childhood, seeing ambition within them. "Do you think just because you study well, you can earn recognition from my father with your grades? Well, let's see, no matter how well you study, in the end, you'll still end up as a prostitute. If it weren't for you, my mom wouldn't have forced me to attend extra classes. It's so annoying. In the future, all the family's assets, houses, will be mine. Don't think you can get anything just by scoring 100 points. In reality, my father never cared about me, he just enjoyed using my grades to push his son. They didn't understand, grades were my only weapon to fight against the world, a means to make my mother hold her head high with pride. I had no choice, I had to work hard, excel, be the best. To suppress my only source of pride, Gu Zhen caused me no end of trouble at school. Forming cliques to exclude me, locking me in the boys' bathroom, splashing dirty water and tearing my clothes. Even having people accuse me of theft, photoshopping my face onto a pornographic image. Afterward, I couldn't bear it anymore and reported to the class teacher. Those who are clear in conscience need not fear others' accusations. Moreover, if Gu Zhen doesn't bully others, why does he only bully you? The teacher skillfully mediated, "You're somewhat like Gu Zhen's sister, can't you resolve things privately? Why bring it to the teacher's attention, Gu Lei, aren't you a bit selfish?" Over the years, my father's business had grown significantly, he could easily handle everything. The teacher's protection allowed Gu Zhen to become more brazen. His excitement soon waned, and finally, Gu Zhen grew tired. With his family urging him to come back for supper, he handed the camera back to Slim Coon. "Keep up the good work, I'll pay you the rest later." Seeing this, my mother finally couldn't bear it anymore and knelt on the ground. The string she had been holding snapped, and she silently howled like a wild beast. She began to frantically slap herself until her 5 fingers bled profusely. Only then did she seem to awaken from a nightmare. Gu Jin. Now it's your turn. Chapter 12. The above is the account of all my crimes. In the police station, my mother confessed without hesitation, no need to force a confession. Urgently, she shared with everyone the joy of avenging her enemies, detailing every aspect. The murder at the bun shop exploded on the internet, public opinion quickly fermented, emotions ran high, demanding justice for this poor mother and daughter. In just a few days, my father's business plummeted, even his mansion was vandalized. Such a talented girl, ranked in the top 50 in the province in the mock exams, what a pity. Her dad is the boss of Dacheng Catering Group, a major taxpayer in the district, for many years turned a blind eye to his ex-wife's family. The son is precious, the daughter is nothing. Reaching this point is quite extraordinary. The hatred of the younger generation must have been influenced by the adults, showing how the second wife treats the ex-wife's family on a daily basis. My mother never wanted to reveal where Gu Jin was. What was chopped on the cutting board was not human flesh, but lamb. We were told the murder happened in the kitchen, but we couldn't find any traces of blood. Logically, with that level of bleeding, there should have been some residue. Some police officers even speculated. Could all of this be her imagination? Is she fantasizing about avenging her daughter? But those thugs did disappear. The only thing that hasn't yielded results yet is that pot of brine dregs. Another 3 days? My father, anxious and impatient, couldn't wait, slamming the table and roaring. Why don't you interrogate her, arrest her and torture her? Force her to tell the truth, my son can't wait that long. We conduct investigations without needing your instructions. The police chuckled, with stern faces. Gu Dacheng, you say your son has been missing for 3 days? I caught a hint of evasion in my father's eyes. Yes, yes. Lies, the last signal from Gu Jin was at the vacation house, which is your property. On the night of your daughter Gulei's case, at 2:30 in the middle of the night, your driver took him there. Now we have the driver under control. You knew your daughter was dead that night. As a father, your daughter was murdered, and you didn't report it, choosing to conceal it. You are not fit to be a parent. Gu Dacheng, you are also suspected of harboring and sheltering criminals. Get ready to face a lawsuit. Chapter 13. When my mother left the interrogation room, Zhang Shuang viciously pushed her. My mother stumbled, numbly glancing at the woman who had lost her mind. Zhou Ruyun, your daughter deserved to die. What saintly act are you putting on now? Do you really love Gulei? Don't think I don't know, you always scolded her, never a kind word. Now you're pretending to be a good mother. She was being bullied at school. As a mother, how could you not know? This wasn't my mother's fault. It was the class teacher, the villain, who first complained and asked to talk to my mother. Gulei's mother, your daughter is emotionally unstable, probably having an early romance. As a parent, you should be more careful. My mother was trembling, taking the teacher's words as gospel, believing everything he said. Many girls her age are boy crazy, getting pregnant and such. Of course, not that Gulei would be like that, but it's always good to be cautious. My mother believed him. She saw me exchanging messages with a male classmate and, based on a cute emoji, she concluded we were in a romantic relationship. These kinds of emojis are popular now, it doesn't mean anything. He was just thanking me for the information. No matter how much I explained, my mom refused to believe me and confiscated my phone. You're about to take the college entrance exam, and you still have time for romance? My mother, furious, sternly poked my head. You're not like Gu Jin, no one is backing you up. I, as your mother, worked hard to secure a good future for you, you have to rely on yourself for everything. That night, I realized someone was following me. I wanted to call the police using my phone, to contact my mom. But when I reached for it, my heart sank. My phone was not with me. I don't trust my daughter, I trust outsiders. I'm guilty, you're right, I'm a murderer too. Let me tell you a secret. Zhang Shuang's face contorted completely. When you had a miscarriage back then, it was Lao Gu. He was so eager to divorce you, even if it meant not having this son, so he switched your pregnancy pills. Your son was lost, it had nothing to do with your daughter, but you blamed her for so many years. Do you regret it? Faced with Zhang Shuang's insults, my mother didn't deny it. A layer of murky tears welled up in her aged eyes. Rest assured, we will both face the consequences. At that moment, the police arrived and said something. Zhang Shuang's face changed drastically because the test results were out. The piece of finger in the bun. It belonged to Gu Jin. Chapter 14. Zhang Shuang knelt in front of my mom, pleading and crying. My dad also stepped in, trying to appeal emotionally. Ryun, over these years I know you and your daughter have suffered, and I am also heartbroken over what happened to Lei Lei, but that was an accident. You can't blame everything on Gu Jin, he's still young. The younger, the better. Let him spend more time in jail. My dad was handsome when he was young, with thick eyebrows and big eyes, which was the only way he could charm my mom into doing everything for him. My mom's distracted gaze caught a glimmer of light. Gu Cheng, do you want to know about Gu Jin's whereabouts? Fine, let's play a game. She took out her phone, opened a monitoring app, and to everyone's shock, a cage appeared on the screen with a naked Gu Jin trapped inside the narrow cage. The cage seemed stuck in the sewer, with no light around, sewage constantly pouring in, and Gu Jin covered in injuries, his body weakened from lack of food. Seeing this scene, Zhang Shuang was heartbroken to the point of fainting. Gu Jin, who was used to a life of luxury since childhood, used to mock me as a market rat. Now, he was covered in filth, smelling atrocious. Gu Jin's shoulders trembled as he sobbed helplessly. Mom, where are you? Please come and save me. Zhou Ryun, what do you want? My dad could no longer contain his anger. Gu Lei is already dead, what more do you want? I know you have a private account in Hong Kong. Because you don't trust Zhang Shuang, you've been embezzling profits that were not needed for business purposes. My mom smirked mockingly. Now, transfer all this money to an account I specify and donate it to charity. All of it. My dad exploded in rage, his face turning red. Zhou Ryun, even in this situation, you still think about money. Oh, I get it, you're using Lei Lei's death to blackmail me, aren't you? Yes, you hold a grudge against me for making you leave with nothing. Back then, it was your own choice to give up your assets in exchange for custody of Gu Lei, it was your own decision. Yes, it was my choice. My mom smiled sarcastically. Now, it's your turn. Gu Cheng, since you love your son so much, then use all your assets to buy back your son. Chapter 15. My dad refused, as expected. Zhang Shuang begged him to agree quickly, seeing the water rising higher, Gu Jin's wounds crawling with maggots, risking infection if left untreated. With no food, he survived by drinking sewage, but he wouldn't last much longer. Old Gu, we can earn money again, but we only have one son. My dad was not tempted, firmly sticking to his principles. Zhou Ryun is deceiving us, even if we give it to her, it will all be in vain. It's not that I can't bear to part with this money, but we cannot bow down to evil forces. We must trust the police comrades. It's too late. It's not too late. As long as there's water to drink, a person can go without food for 2 to 3 weeks. My dad remained unwavering. Jin is strong, he can definitely hold on. Zhang Shuang's face turned pale as ashes, she seemed dazed, as if she was just realizing the true nature of her bedfellow. While a son is important, he is not an irreplaceable resource. My dad had more than one mistress outside. As long as the money was enough, the descendants would be endless. The night in the detention center was cold. My mom clumsily curled up in bed. I could tell at a glance that her waist must be acting up again. "You didn't wear a waist protector again." Others closed their stalls after the morning and afternoon shifts, but she insisted on working through the evening shift as well, enduring even the toughest situations. Especially in winter, the pain in her waist made it difficult for her to walk. I pitied her and advised her to work less, but my mom insisted on being the strongest in the world. Work less. Then who will support you in the future, with tuition fees being so high now? As I approached, I heard my mom murmuring softly. "Lay, I found a good shop in City B. Once you start school, we'll move there, you study, and I'll make money. I've been practicing Mandarin recently, listen and see if it's accurate or not." Watching the tears on my mom's cheeks, I finally remembered how she found my body. Chapter 16. That night she called the police, but they said it had to be 48 hours before a missing person report could be filed. My mom had to swallow her pride and go to my dad for help. He had a wide network, knowing many people in the bureau, he could definitely help. But as soon as they arrived at the villa, they saw that couple carrying bags and stuffing Gu Jin into the car like thieves. Gu Dacheng kept reminding. "Wait until things calm down before contacting, don't go home first, wait for mom and dad to handle it first." After Gu Jin received a call from Slim Kun, he was extremely panicked, his voice choked up as he argued for himself. "I just wanted to teach him a lesson, who knew I would end up with Lei. Dad, I really don't want to go to jail." My mom vaguely heard my name, feeling suspicious, so she followed my dad's car all the way to the warehouse. Seeing my body, my dad's first reaction was to vomit. He vomited in disgust. Zhang Shuang shook my dad in panic. "No, we can't let her affect Jin, it's all your fault. If you didn't always use this girl's grades to provoke our son, would our son turn out like this? We are the ones who harmed our son." The two hurriedly left, not noticing the van following behind. The next day, my mom heard the news in the detention center. It was said that Zhang Shuang stabbed my dad in a fit of rage during an argument, causing his kidney to fail, and he was taken to the hospital. After the money was transferred to the designated account as agreed, my mom was very satisfied, saying that women understand each other. "Since that's the case, let me give you a gift." Chapter 17. The locks on the cage holding Gu Jin were opened. He cried tears of joy, using all his strength to climb out of the cage, but what awaited him outside was an even larger iron cage. Inside, there was not only Blonde Punk, the homeroom teacher, but also everyone involved in the incident that night. The thin, incomplete body lay sprawled in the corner. I suddenly understood why the police didn't find any blood traces in the kitchen. Mom didn't kill them, she trapped them here like raising goo worms, depriving them of food and water, letting them fight each other. What would people do when hungry? It's not unfamiliar, right? What do you want? Gu Jin retreated in despair, trying to stop them. "Don't come near me, get away, go far away." At a critical moment, the tech team brought good news. They analyzed the video repeatedly, not missing any detail, and found a clue through the soundtrack in the video. "Look, there's a light source on Gu Jin's face, moving regularly at specific times. This should be the vibration caused by a passing train. Immediately investigate the warehouses near the intersection of underground waterways and railways. Using the passing time, we can further calculate the length of the train, contact the Railway Bureau, retrieve the train routes that meet the conditions, and conduct comparative checks." Soon, the results came out. Chapter 18. It was an abandoned pig farm, where my grandfather once worked, and it was also the place my mom was most familiar with when she was a child. The rescue officially began. Before setting off, Zhang Shuang brushed off her disheveled appearance and sneered unscrupulously. Zhou Ruyun, evil will not prevail over good. You wait to die. From the police station, driving fast, but only a 40-minute journey. My mom had handcuffs on her hands, accompanied by police officers with real guns. She had no way to escape. But she was not at all anxious, leaning against the window in the car, staring foolishly at the blue sky and white clouds outside. Today, the weather is really nice. The bright sunlight shone through the glass onto her face, and she muttered to herself. Lele said she wants to go to Disneyland after the college entrance exam. How should I respond to her? I said she's so grown up, still thinking about playing these things. Doesn't university cost money? Don't changing phones and computers cost money? Aren't all those better than going to Disneyland? A sense of bitterness rose in my heart. My mom who was fine. I just want to go with you, it doesn't matter where, as long as we're together. My daughter, never got to go. Do you know, the older my daughter gets, the more uncertain I feel in my heart. I'm uneducated, I can't even help with second or third grade questions. I'm really afraid my daughter will look down on me, so I end up yelling, scolding her. It seems like repeating the suffering several times will make my daughter listen to me a bit more. Lele said I'm a typical East Asian mom, seeking presents through criticism. I didn't understand before, now I do. Yes, that's me. I don't know how to be a good mom. Zhang Shuang smirked with malicious delight. Yes, your daughter is unlucky, having a mom like you who only knows how to make dumplings all day. You're just shallow-minded, that's why you've ended up like this today. My son will be safe. And you'll hold your daughter's ashes and rot in prison. I trembled with anger, but my mom wasn't angry at all. A faint smile played on her lips. Yes, you're really lucky. I envy you. At that moment, sitting in the passenger seat, the police officer who had been monitoring closely suddenly realized something. He silenced everyone, turned the volume up to the maximum, and in his earphones, the sound of wind and rain faintly came through, raindrops tapping clearly. And at this moment, outside the window, the sun was shining brightly, not a cloud in sight. What does this mean? It means the video was pre-recorded. Chapter 19. The last heavy rain in City G was 3 days ago. The sound of rain persisted, dripping into everyone's hearts. The compartment plunged into an extreme silence. True despair, as it turns out, is when one believes hope is right in front of them, within arm's reach, only to completely vanish into thin air. Zhang Shuang finally understood the meaning behind my mom's words about the nice weather. A horrific, inhuman voice squeezed out of her damaged throat, but it was futile. This was footage from 3 days ago. My mom basked in the sunlight, squinting happily. Zhang Shuang, your son likes to use money to make lackeys do his bidding. Now, these lackeys have been hungry for a very long time. Guess, will dogs eat their master? The answer will be revealed soon.